Hey everybody, welcome to the show. As always, I'm Jason. This is It Was All a Dram. Let's drink some whiskey. Today, I'm going to be upping my bourbon game. I have two bottled in bond offerings. Now, for those that are unfamiliar, bottled in bond basically just means there's a few extra added regulations to be classified as such. So to be bourbon, there's certain rules that you have to abide by in the production. And to be bottled in bond bourbon, there's extra rules. So to be bottled in bond, it has to be aged at least 4 years. It has to be all from the same distilling year. So you can't have different age whiskeys. It has to be all the same year. And it has to be bottled at 50%. So what we have today is Heaven Hill, bottled in bond, and George Dickle, bottled in bond. What do I know about these two? Well, Heaven Hill, I don't know much. I've heard good things. I understand they know how to make quality whiskey. Other than that, I don't know much. I like the way the bottle looks. The name is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it. George Dickle, what do I know? Well, the name makes me laugh a little bit. Look, George Dickle, they've had a bit of a roller coaster in terms of reputation. There was a time when they were not very much known as a quality whiskey maker. In fact, one of the funniest things I know about George Dickle is they had a version of whiskey that was aged in Tabasco barrels, and it was called Hot Dickle. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that loved it. Some people hated it. It was kind of, not take it seriously. Now, the Heaven Hill offering is aged 7 years. The George Dickle is aged 13 years. The Heaven Hill, I believe, was about $85 American. And I think the Dickle was 63, 62, somewhere around there. So it's a little cheaper. All right, let's try Heaven Hill, bottled in bond, on the nose. Okay, right off you get the oak. You definitely get the influence of the oak. It's sweet. It's a bit of a pepperminty. Maybe a light honey note. Some grassy, airy notes. Let's try the palate. Light peppermint, oak, a bit of a, I guess it would be a honey. It's fairly sweet. Yeah, it's sweet and oaky. It's well balanced. It's very smooth. It's a pretty good bourbon. Nothing surprising, nothing particularly unique. The flavors are intense, but it is very smooth. All right, let's try the Dickle, shall we? Okay, on the nose, this right away is more unique. I'm getting like a powdered candy. Definitely a little bit of orchard fruits. I'm still getting oak, a little bit of peppermint, like typical bourbons, but there's like another element to it, like a candy or a powdered sugar. Let's try the palate. I have heard people say they get Flintstone vitamin. 100%. There's Flintstone, the chewable vitamins that you get when you're a kid. That is definitely there. But for the most part, it's, same thing. It's sweet. It's a little bit of fruit, with a little bit of maybe cherry note in there. And it has a little bit of a medicinal vibe to it. And like I say, definitely the candied Flintstone vitamin. I still taste it in the finish. The little, after you've chewed it, and it's just, yeah, it's nice. I like that. So let me go back to the Heaven Hill. All right. I would say it tastes like a fine bourbon. It does. There's nothing surprising about it to me, but it is very well balanced and it's very smooth, and it has the intensity of up to 50%. It's definitely there. Let me go back to the Dickle. Yeah, right off the bat, it's just more unique. This is definitely, I think, a cleaner make bourbon. If you're looking for what bourbon tastes like, this is more in your alley. But if you are a bourbon drinker and you want something that's a little bit different, the Dickle is nice. When I let it sit for a little bit, I definitely get some caramel. You get the sweeter notes. A little bit of, like I say, like a deep cherry note, and the oakiness, and then it finishes with the powdery kind of Flintstone vitamin. I think I will give Heaven Hill an 84, and I'll give the bottle George Dickle an 86. Now again, you might find differently. You might find that this is more your style, and you might prefer this. Like I say, it is a very well-made bourbon. This one, for me, just because of the uniqueness and the fact that it's something different and it has like a little more than what I'm used to, I enjoy it more. I think it's more interesting. So 84, 86, they're both fantastic. You can't go wrong with either of them. I would also argue this is cheaper, so I think it's a more unique product at a cheaper price point. I would definitely recommend go for the George Dickle Bottled in Bond. Well, that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Until next time, cheers.